Hey everybody, it's me, Weedwhacker 2000. I I mentioned a couple audio recordings ago that I learned a lot from my friends. Quote, we weren't really friends. They were just people I hung around with because I didn't really know anybody else. Um, I was kind of the ghost in the group. They would include each other in their circle, and I would just I would just be there and just observing, and not, I mean, I guess voluntarily, but also because they didn't try to include me. They didn't say, "Hey, Weebacker, what do you think?" Maybe only a couple guys did, and I liked them for that because they were cool to talk to one to one. But for the most part, most of them, didn't really care about me. So that kind of sucked. I'm like, well, I'm hanging out with a group of people who don't care about me, but I don't really know anyone else, so I'm just gonna stay here with this circle. And I didn't really mind it that much because I didn't really feel like talking a lot most times anyway. But still, it would have been nice, and it was nice when those times did come when I got a chance to talk. But one of the things I learned from them was, it's definitely possible for them to go greater lengths to, for laughs. Because there was this one guy. I mean, no one listens to this stuff anyway, so I'll just say his name. His name was Eddie. His last name started with G. But I recall, um, well, he catfished me. As embarrassing as it is to admit that. Um, the way it went down, as I remember it was nighttime. It was probably Friday night because I don't see why I would stay at school at night. Well, I was at school, but I was at the varsity baseball field, and I was sitting on the bleachers. And that's just a dumb name for the spot to sit to watch the game, the baseball game. And I think there was a game going on or practice. I'm not too sure, but I was sitting down watching, and then I received a text from a random number, and then they said, "Hey, is this Weed Whacker 2000?" And I don't know why, but I didn't find that strange. I was just kind of like, "Oh, a message for me. That doesn't happen. No one ever talks to me. That's pretty cool." So I said, "Oh yeah, it's me who's asking," and then they said, "Oh, it's girl's name." I don't remember the name they used. It's girl's name. And then I was like, and then I questioned her. I asked, how was, or how did you get my number? And then they named one of my, um, I think one of the friends I knew, or one of the playmates, or what are they called? Teammates, right? The teammates, one of my teammates. I think that's what they said. I don't know, something, but whatever it was, it convinced me that it wasn't weird. Like, oh, they got it from someone, cool. And then we started talking, and then it kind of escalated to, oh, I like you, add me on Kick. And then I added her on Kick, and then I think things escalated further, and I remember one of the messages was, "Oh, my parents just left. I took this picture real quick for you." and then they sent me a nude. It was a nude at the perspective of laying on the bed, and naive. I think it was sophomore year this happened. Naive me believed, it was them. I was like, oh, you know, um, that people never talk to me, let alone send nudes. Let alone a girl likes me, because I don't think at that point a girl. Well, that's a lie. A girl did like me. I'll get into that later. But nothing to that extent. It was really surprising. Um, that might be a little lie. I'm not too sure. Have to recall a lot of memories for that. But no one ever just really quick. Maybe after a week of talking, it's like, oh, I really like you. Here's a nude. And then she said, oh, I want to see a nude of you, whatever. But I was really against it. I was like, I can't bring myself to send a picture of myself. And I wasn't even willing to take a shirtless picture. I didn't want to do that. So instead, I sent a picture of my sleep, my sleeping, my sleeping attire. And at the time, my sleeping attire, it was, I don't remember what the shirt was. It was probably Mario, but my shorts were definitely Mario. Actually, I think my shirt was one of the levels from Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong. With Mario going up, jumping over the barrels to then saving the princess. Or Pauline, I'm sorry. And my shorts, they were I don't know how to describe it, like a comic book, but with like Mario characters on it, and I had all this crap. So I took a picture of that perspective from like as if you're looking down at your body. You're like, oh, here's my shirt, my shorts. That's what the picture looked like, and that's the picture I sent. Which I'm glad I said that. I mean, I wish I didn't send anything and caught on to the weird or the fishiness. But eventually I started hearing about it from school, like from people from school, and I thought that was weird. And I'm like, how do people from school know that when I'm talking to just this person, one to one? And I thought, well, maybe she's telling people, but I found it really weird that guys on the team specifically knew. Like, it wasn't like a random person from who knows where at the school. It was like, hey, you're doing this. Like, no, it was only the guys on the team. So that made me, feel off. And I'm not too sure how it unfolded from there. Um, I'm not too sure if they ever told me through the text. Um, actually, yeah, I don't remember if they said anything through the text, but I do remember some guys trying to help me out, saying like, "Hey, I found out who's catfishing you. It's this guy. Like, you're being catfished, dude. Don't fall for it anymore. Just stop." And I was like, "Catfish." At the time, I don't think well, I think I was familiar with the term at that time, but I didn't really want to believe it, of course, because it's nice being wanted by someone, but um, I think I had to face facts. I was like, well, if you're telling me, and other people are telling me, I guess it's true. So I was like, well, that sucks. And I don't know how. Like I said, I don't remember how things unfolded exactly, but it reached a point where I knew. I think I almost knew who it was, and what was it? Oh, and then they said, and then word started spreading around the whole team, like not just the team I was in, but like the other levels, that me and Eddie were going to fight. That I was talking a lot of smack, and that he was talking a lot of smack, and then that we were going to fight. Like, oh, you guys are gonna fight? Like, what? Why? Like, what are you guys gonna do? Like, oh, there's gonna be a fight between, Weed Whacker and Eddie. And I was like, well, you gotta remember from my perspective, it was just a normal school day for me. I got dropped off, and I'm thinking, another boring day, and I wish it was, but it wasn't. Another boring normal day, but then I get there, and then I start hearing, like, oh, you're gonna fight? You're gonna fight Eddie after school, huh? And everyone's all talking about it, pressuring me. And I was like, what? Fight? Like, I don't like to fight. I don't know how to fight. And there's nothing to gain out of the fight. I thought it was dumb. Like, what, get hurt and then say I'm manly? Like, who cares about that? I don't care about that. Like, I started going through my mind, like, I don't think I've done anything to make Eddie upset. But I guess they're spreading fake, um, what's the word? I don't know, fake words, fake stories, saying how I was talking a lot of crap about him, but I didn't. And he didn't believe it either, after knowing the outcome, because he was the one that was catfishing me. But somehow, eventually, I did find out that it was him. I knew I was being catfished at that point, but I don't know who did it. But then I found out it was him, and then things just kept escalating, and then it it became after school, and then we were in practice, and then we're stretching. They were saying, "Hey, like, so when are you guys gonna fight? Whatever." And I'm like, I'm not fighting him. And I think the same guys who were trying to warn me, I think they were standing up for me too, which was nice. And then, like I said, I don't remember how things reached this point, but eventually, I had to go to the principal's office that same day. It was later in the day, and it became serious. And then they started talking to me about how they found out who it is, and if I wanted to do anything against him. And then they're like, oh, we could send the messages to the police or whatever, have them look into it. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not necessary, because I didn't want them to see my messages. I was like, hey, no, it's okay. I don't want them to see it. But at the same time, I wasn't happy with what he was doing. I told him, like, no, you don't need to go through the messages. It's okay. Some other crap. And I think she asked me, or he asked me, I'm not too sure who was the principal. They asked me, like, oh, do you want to see him in person and talk to him? Like, ask him what's up. And I said, yeah, I would like to. But then they never arranged it, so I was like, okay. And then they had me write an essay. It was really short, not like 5 pages, maybe like a paragraph detailing the events. And, and that was the end of it, at least for me. And I found out that he got expelled. He was no longer allowed at the school because of his actions. And then, like I said, I thought that was the end of it. To which it was, in terms of bad. But I think a few days later, after school, I was visiting the baseball field we practice on. We didn't have practice. I went there for some reason. I don't know why. And then I see him there, and I see an older adult. Like, oh, it's you." And he's like, "Oh, hey, man." He approached me and he apologized for doing what he did. And then the adult was his dad. He introduced himself. He's like, "Oh, you can punch my son in the face really hard if you want to. I wouldn't blame you, and I wouldn't stop you either." I told him, "No, I don't want to do that. You know, enough damage has been done, and I'm not, really angry at him. I wasn't happy, but I don't want to hurt the guy either." And he told me what happened on his side, and through him, I found out that he got expelled. And when he was in trouble, because he had to do the same thing as me, write a little essay detailing the events. Um, he told me, I still think it's funny to this day, or at least chuckle worthy. He told me that some guy, one of the officials there, they looked at him, in disgust, and some adult, looked at him with disgust and said, "You ruined, uh, you ruined Weed Whacker's poor soul, or whatever. Or, you messed up his soul really bad." But like, when he said that to me, I couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" Like, I'm fine, dude. I'm not, dying over it. I'm not devastated. It sucked, yeah, but gotta, only way through is, keep moving forward. You know, let bygones be bygones. So we had a good laugh over that. So it was a good ending, kind of. At least between me and him. I didn't hate him after that. I wish he didn't do it, but you know, what's done is done. I still don't hate him. I still don't hate him. And he seemed truly apologetic, sincere about it.